As Kennimac worked on the ancient vault, the raving voices grew louder. He ignored them and tried to focus on the lock. Suddenly the room explodes in a burst of blinding light, and with a flash, he clutches at his eyes, feeling his feet starting to sink and slide. The voices reach a crescendo, piercing into his brain. He hears his former party members call, wail, and beg. His screams last only a moment as their mutated mouths clamp down around him. His eyes open, bobbing to the surface of a gooey red mass, and there is only hunger. His howl joins the cacophony. G'day, I'm James from Zalgariath Gaming, and this is Creature Feature, where each episode we dissolve a D&D 5e monster and see what makes it wail. There is nothing more frightening in the D&D bestiary than creatures who ignore death saving throws, and at CR2, the aberration known as the Gibbering Mouther is possibly the first enemy with this horrifying ability that your party will encounter. Before we succumb to its paralyzing cries, do not forget to cough up your Zalgariath Gaming character sheet and a d20. You will need them before the end of this video. I already hinted during the blindness, deafness, spell focus that the Gibbering Mouther has seen some changes in 2025 Monster Manual, and boy was that an understatement. Almost every aspect of this malformed monster has been messed with massively and manipulated its maneuvers. Starting with movement, our marvelous sack of mouths can now move up to 20 feet a turn. Sluggish, yes, but a vast improvement upon the 10 feet it had in the 2014 version. For the DM, this means that on turn 1, a 40-foot dash gets it much closer to the party, which despite being literally squishy, at AC 9 is exactly where this guy wants to be. The stat block hasn't changed much, but the nominal HP has dropped from 67 to 52, which is a theme we'll continue to encounter going forward, for the Deadly Mouther has been nerfed. Yes, I'm calling it that early. This mushy red mound made of mouths and eyes of their defeated prey are now not quite as scary as they previously were. Apart from the speed buff, almost every other aspect has been softened like the mucus that they are made of. The 10-foot emanation of difficult terrain around the Mouther, known as Aberrant ground, makes its return in 2025. This is to help the slow-moving mass keep pace with faster prey that tries to escape. Except whereas in the 2014 version, creatures in the affected area had to pass a DC 10 strength check each turn or have their speed reduced to 0, that extra effect has been eradicated, so it's just difficult terrain. Their signature gibbering ability, this time a 20-foot emanation, has likewise been downgraded. It's still a DC 10 wisdom save and uses the same D8 table for a fail, which either does nothing, move randomly, or makes a random melee attack, but now failure doesn't stop reactions from being taken. I'm guessing here they didn't want a situation where a player was making 2 saves in a turn to be able to move if they were within 10 feet of the Mouther, because it's really not a great place to be. While it only has a +2 bite to hit, when it did, bam! 5d6 damage, which, if it reduced the target to 0 HP, meant the unconscious victim was automatically and instantly consumed and amalgamated into the writhing ball of flesh with its eyes and mouths joining the endless mad hunt. That's an insta-kill, no death saving throws, and terrifying stuff. But before you soil your level 2 britches, relax. It's now only 2d6 damage in the new rules. It'll still absorb you, it'll just take a lot longer to get you to 0 HP. There is a small uptick here, however, for the Mouther, as a successful hit used to trigger a DC 10 strength save or be knocked prone, whereas now that automatically happens to its opponent every hit, no save possible. Then it's a game of resist gibbering, spend half your movement to stand, and have to cross the 10 feet of difficult terrain combo. Makes getting away from these munchers rarely a simple matter despite its low movement speed. If that wasn't scary enough, in 2014 it had multi-attack, where before biting you, it could unleash a blinding spittle on a 5/6 recharge. This DC 13 dex save against the blinded condition in a 5-foot blast radius could shoot up to 15 feet away, which if successful then gave it advantage on its bite attack and ouchie 5d6 damage and melting your face again. The Blinding Spittle ability has been completely reworked, and it seems to be the makeup for the loss of the melee attack dice damage. It now has a 10-foot radius blast, much nicer, and a 30-foot range, doubled. It also deals 2d6 radiant damage, which it didn't do before, but it is only now DC 10, nothing on a successful save, and is a whole action, no more multi-attack. Brr. So is the Gibbering Mouther now nerfed and a less deadly opponent than it was in 2014? Yes, if you were within 20 feet and it could dissolve your tasty tissue. But of course, in most encounters, due to its 10-foot speed, it was also very easily avoidable. Stand back, unload with ranged attacks, and it was pretty quickly defeated. Now, with the added range damage and its speed bump, it is a much more balanced opponent. Less OP at close range, and let's face it, at CR2 it was way too dangerous before for a low-level party, but now tactically more interesting, especially when paired up with other local denizens of the Underdark who can hold up the party long enough for the mind-melting Mouther to make its way into range, and probably eat friend and foe alike, but hey, an Aberrant's gotta eat. Now, if you'd like some paper minis for this terrifying early game Aberration, it makes an appearance in my Phandelver and Below the Shattered Obelisk set. This campaign pack comes along with minis for a bunch of other creepy creatures in the Aberration family, including the Fleshmeld, a CR7 evolution of the Gibbering Mouther, just in case you thought it wasn't badass enough already. You'll find links to these affordable print-your-own resources below, designed by me for my table that I'd love to see on yours. Now, if you're still here and not a gibbering mess, let's catch up with Blowinbogan on his adventures in Rumming on Empty. As you complete your business in the Grey Gum Market, a commotion breaks out near the exit. People scream and start scattering in all directions. Blowy instantly draws his sword and turns towards the center of the panic. At a sewer grate by the alleyway, a creature is slowly emerging through the metal bars. Give me an Arcana or Nature check, DC 12. If you pass, you gain advantage on your next D20 test, which is now Roll Initiative. Blowy gets... Again... Bugger me.